Hi, you want to know what magnesium does to your body? Then you should watch this video. I'm Dr. Petra Bracht, and I'm a physician specializing in nutritional medicine as well as general medicine and naturopathy. I think it's a fascinating world, the world of micronutrients, which of course includes magnesium. You can imagine all the tiny nutrients as the smallest gears in a precisely running clockwork. And if just a few of these tiny gears are missing, this clockwork only works inaccurately, or eventually some parts stop working altogether. And that's exactly what happens in our bodies when we don't get enough of all the vitamins, minerals, and trace elements. We no longer keep time as accurately as we could, and this accuracy is comparable to stable health. Increasing inaccuracy due to a deficiency leads to various symptoms over time and often results in severe illnesses. One of the most important tasks of magnesium is that it is basically the boss when it comes to producing your energy. If we have too little magnesium, our little cell power plants, the so-called mitochondria, cannot generate enough energy from burning the proteins, carbohydrates, and fats we get from food. And we feel, of course, increasingly low on energy. It's only with magnesium that the combustion really gets going. And we feel powerful, full of energy, and really excited about life. But magnesium is also the activator of more than 600, just imagine that, enzymes that are necessary for the smooth functioning of at least 80%, if not more, of all metabolic processes. And together with vitamin D and calcium, magnesium ensures a healthy bone metabolism. And of course, this also prevents the occurrence of osteoporosis and additionally ensures a balanced acid-base balance. Because unfortunately, most of us are more or less chronically over-acidified due to our lifestyle and diet. Magnesium is also necessary for optimal muscle function, because when magnesium is lacking, the permeability of the cell walls of muscle cells increases for calcium, for sodium, and potassium. And as a result, the excitability of the nerve cells increases and the muscles can cramp because of this. Now you also know why you can keep having muscle cramps when you have a magnesium deficiency. In addition, magnesium also controls the resilience as well as the overall regeneration of the muscles. And magnesium also has a balancing effect on the entire cardiovascular system by stabilizing the heart's strength and rhythm. That's not really surprising, because what is our heart? Our heart is definitely also a muscle. And in addition, it basically shields the heart muscle, meaning our heart, from stress and supports the oxygen supply in the vessels. And that's why with heart arrhythmias or high blood pressure, you should always consider a magnesium or even a potassium deficiency. And that's not all. This super mineral has a calming and stabilizing effect on our nerves throughout the entire body. It achieves this by enabling information exchange and controlling impulses between nerve cells. It is also involved in the production of neurotransmitters, such as the happiness chemical serotonin. And despite its immensely important functions in our body, magnesium deficiency is still extremely common. And it often goes undetected because it can't really be checked for. The reason? The reason is actually obvious, because we know that in the last 100 years, the magnesium content in foods like spinach, all types of cabbage, as well as nuts, flax seeds, and other vegetables has decreased by 90%. So it's really not surprising to me at all that so many people today can end up with a magnesium deficiency. Because due to monocultures and the fertilization methods used on the soil, they are extremely depleted of minerals, not just magnesium, but also selenium, potassium, and calcium, by the way, as well. And clearly, if these substances are no longer present in the soil, how are they supposed to get into our food? Certainly, it's a bit different in organic farming, but unfortunately, most people still choose products from conventional agriculture. But it's getting better, I can tell you that. So now let's get to the daily recommended dose of magnesium. For a healthy adult, that's about 400 milligrams. But it's different if you're under stress, if you have intense physical exertion, if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, growing, or if you are already older. So, well, let's say from around 60, depending on how someone lives. Then the requirement can actually go up to 1,000 or even 2,000 milligrams. And attention, especially with lifestyle diseases that are treated with medication, there can be increased excretion or impaired absorption of magnesium. Or rather, that's very likely. Which diseases are those? Or which medications? For example, in the case of heart disorders, diuretic medications are prescribed. This leads to magnesium being flushed out. With cortisone therapy, with diabetes, or also with laxatives, or if you have a chronic illness in the gastrointestinal tract, or even if you take the birth control pill. And if you want to know how your magnesium supply is, then I can only tell you, have your magnesium level measured in whole blood. Because this micronutrient is mainly found in the cell, and that's why a whole blood test is necessary. The normal blood test is always done in the serum, which means outside the cell. And the body works extremely hard to keep this level in the serum more or less stable and normal. And that's why a deficiency is very difficult to detect with this conventional blood tests. By the way, this also applies to potassium. You might be thinking now, okay, maybe I could also have a magnesium deficiency, right? You've had it checked and now you'd like to take something. Then you should definitely eat certain foods more often, for example, flax seeds, nuts, legumes, sunflower seeds, oatmeal and rice. They have a fairly high magnesium content, but to be safe and well supplied, I definitely recommend that you also take magnesium as a dietary supplement, maybe depending on where you are and what life situation you are in. Additionally, 400, sometimes even 800 or even 1,200 milligrams, but to be well supplied, it definitely makes sense to take 400 milligrams per day. And here I always recommend paying attention to a well-absorbable form of magnesium. For example, magnesium citrate, magnesium gluconate, magnesium orotate, or magnesium aspartate. Well, you see, magnesium is, oh my goodness, actually a magic mineral in our body, and optimal magnesium supply is an important topic. And that's why I ask you to please share this video with everyone you know. And please write in the comments below how things look for you. Have you ever thought about whether you might also have a magnesium deficiency? Maybe you're already supplementing. And of course, I'm also happy about your thumbs up. And if you still feel like watching more of my videos, you can do that right here. I'm already looking forward to next time with you. See you then. Bye.